And we have more breaking news in Southeast Houston tonight. Police say 4 people were shot. Happened just before 8 o'clock at a gas station near the South Loop at Broadway. 1 person was taken to the hospital. The other 3 managed to get to the hospital themselves. No word right now on how badly everyone was hurt or what's behind this. We'll continue to follow it and get you an update.
Another in the series I like to call Because You Won't Hear It in the Mainstream Media. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms, your NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. And if you like my channel, like my content, and wish to support me, you can do so with the link in the description box below. Everything is appreciated. Let's talk about this. This is coming out. Oop, let me fix this. Oop. This is coming out of Houston, Texas. And this is very interesting. Now, in my opening dialogue, I said you won't hear this in the mainstream media, but you probably will because 4 people were wounded. And they can basically call that a mass shooting. So they'll add it to the tally to say that we've had X amount of mass shootings for the year. So let me correct that. But what's happening here, okay? A group of armed robbers went into a gas station in Houston, Texas, and tried to rob it. But a citizen who has big cojones, who was armed, stepped in, and a gunfight ensued. And 3 of the robbers, from what I've read, they were injured. And another 4th person who just happened to be a bystander was injured also. But let me play this clip here. Let's get the context. We'll come back.
Now some new information from a breaking story we first told you about last night at 10 o'clock. 4 masked robbers stormed a gas station in Southeast Houston, met by a customer who was also armed.
That customer opened fire, hitting 3 of the robbers. An innocent bystander was also injured during the gunfire. This happened around 8 p.m. at the Circle K Valero near the South Loop and Park Place. KPRC2's Corley Peel is joining us live. She has new information from police. Corley, what are they telling you about how this all unfolded?
Sophia and Owen, this all started when those 5 robbery suspects walked into this store last night. They came up here, one of them waiting out in a getaway car, while 4 others walked in the store with masks on and began demanding customers of their belongings at gunpoint. Here's a look at video from that scene last night. HPD says that the suspects are believed to be young men and possibly juveniles. They say the suspects walked in there and gunfire was, and at some point a man inside the store pulled out his gun. That was a customer. Gunfire was exchanged, and APD says 3 out of the 4 suspects inside the store were hit by bullets. An innocent bystander was also struck by gunfire, but it's unclear who shot them.
At this point in the investigation, we're not quite sure if the gunfire came from the suspect or from the citizen who fired upon the suspects.
And that bystander is expected to be okay. And the customer who fired their weapon was not injured, according to HPD. Now, 3 of the suspects, or the injured suspects, they were actually driven to a nearby hospital by one of their fellow suspects. And everybody is expected to be in custody, and they are all expected to be okay, except one suspect is in critical condition. Now, this is an ongoing investigation.
You heard that and you saw that. Like I said, this armed citizen, that takes a lot of guts because you're technically outnumbered. But he stepped right into the fray and let these these would-be robbers know that there's a price to pay for their trade. But let me come over to here. Here, this is bearing arms. Gas station customer takes on multiple armed robbers. Like I said, big cojones. Authorities in Houston, Texas say a gang of armed robbers targeting a Valero gas station and convenience store on the city's south side southeast side Thursday night, but were stopped by an armed citizen who opened fire. Police responded to the store shortly after 9 p.m. Witnesses told them that a car with 5 individuals inside had pulled into the station. 4 of the men got out of the vehicle and entered the store, with the 5th man remaining behind the wheel. Once inside, the four pulled out guns and demanded customers' employees to hand over the cash. That's when one customer said, "No, I am not," drew their own gun and fired. 3 of the would-be robbers were hit by the armed citizen's shots, though police say a customer was also injured in the exchange of gunfire between the armed citizen and the armed robbers. It's not known at this point who fired the shot that injured the bystander, but thankfully they expect it to be okay. I'm sure they're going to sue. The local media in Houston are downplaying the armed citizen aspect of the story because it does not fit the narrative to the point of absurdity. Here are a few of the headlines about the incident. 4 hospitalized after shots fired at SC Houston gas station. At least 4 shot during attempted robbery at Southeast Houston gas station, police say, and 5 injured in robbery shootout at Southeast Houston gas station. Noted they didn't say that the majority of the people injured were the actual robbers, the actual criminals. One of the few media outlets to acknowledge the armed citizen in his headline was the Houston Chronicle, though the paper makes it sound like the armed customer just started banging away at everyone inside the store by proclaiming 4 injured when customer pulled gun during attempted robbery at Southeast Houston. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Even the paper's ledger fails to acknowledge that 3 of the 4 people who were shot inside the gas station had pulled guns of their own and were robbing the place. Okay. And there's another headline: 4 people were injured late Thursday when a customer pulled a gun and fired at men trying to rob a convenience store in Southeast Houston, officials said. It's not until the next paragraph that the Chronicle acknowledged that 3 of those who were wounded will be facing charges thanks to their attempted robbery, or that police haven't said if the bystander was shot by the robbers or the citizens. Those just scanning headlines or giving the story a quick once over, because we do educate ourselves on headlines. That's a truth. We do that, and it's unfortunate. Give a quick once over may be very well left with the idea that the armed citizen just randomly shot 4 people. That's the way they wanted to make it sound, while trying to prevent the armed robbery, which is absolutely not the case. Okay, I don't really need to get deeper into that, but that's the information there. Like I said, you'll probably hear about this because 4 people were injured, which fits into the redefined notion of what a mass shooting is, so it can be then put on the tally of mass shootings. So when they come out with that dramatic, there have been X amount of mass shootings, which is actually false. It's false because they're not using what the standard FBI definition. They're using the redefined definition. I think it's every town came up with their own definition of it, and pretty much because it makes that number larger, everybody, mainstream media and all the anti-gun groups use it. But it's a false statement. But kudos to this guy. He basically said, "No, not today. Not today. I'm not giving up." No. And like I said, he was a tactical disadvantage, but it worked out in the end because he managed to wound 3 of those robbers who were going to be charged after the fact. Hopefully, they won't have some George Soros-backed prosecutor in Houston who will just give him a slap on the wrist for basically using firearms. I'm sure that they were illegally obtained and used them to rob people. But we shall see if they're back on the streets. But kudos, another good guy with a gun story. I have no problem with it. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I will see you on the next one. Peace.